Well known for being a place of comfortable and relaxing living, it becomes easy to forget that Bacolod is a city. True, the multitude and variety of businesses that crop up and remain standing, the development-oriented locals who make their hard work their everyday routine, as well as the schools and government buildings that make up Bacolod's set of infrastructures, are reminders enough that Bacolod is a city and it can compete with the best of them. More often than not, however, when it comes to travel, the images one keeps and the experiences one scrambles to write down are overcome by the feeling that stays with the traveler long after they have landed on home soil. Bacolod's farewell gift is a sense of well-being, a metaphorical loosening of the limbs that isn't usually associated with visiting cities that, by nature, hustle and bustle. Bacolod's hustle and bustle is of the friendly sort, which is probably why it has earned for itself the popular nickname, City of Smiles. Bacolod is a name that, in the local Ilonggo dialect, means Stone Hill, after its first home, perched on the top of a Stone Hill area. History saw the city resettled near the province's northwest coast, and from there, gradually became the center of progress, commerce, and culture that it is at present. Yet, despite the years, their past as a simple, hard-working people living atop a stone hill is still written clearly on the faces of Bacolod's sons and daughters. What is it like to spend every day in the best place to live in the Philippines? This is a question that can be answered by any citizen of Bacolod. Chosen lately as the best place to live in the Philippines by Money Sense magazine because of its attractiveness to investors, its roster of government services, the availability of varied recreational areas, the cool living lifestyle, and the generally high quality of life. Bacolod is a place where forward movement is second nature, and home pride is just like breathing. What is it like to live in Bacolod? For those who cannot call themselves natives of Bacolod, it is about time to venture out into its waiting streets and spend a full day in the City of Smiles. A 2-hour plane ride will bring one from Manila to the Bacolod Silay Airport in Silay City. From there, the tourist is left with the simple task of finding a taxi or a shuttle to Bacolod proper. On the other hand, for those who would opt to take the more scenic route, there is the Ceres liner. The buses of Ceres Liner are not just vehicles for transportation. They are symbols of Bacolod ingenuity. From concept to design to manufacturing, these buses are the products of Bacolod non-brains, thus traveling the whole Philippine archipelago as ambassadors of Bacolod to their fellow Filipinos, spreading the news of what the people of Bacolod are capable of. Having arrived, the tourist is then free to figure out his own answer to the inquiry of what it is like to spend one's day in the city of Bacolod, the city of love. If one were to harbor an educated guess, it would probably begin with the most important meal of the day, breakfast. As the tourist's luck will have it, Bacolod possesses a number of nooks and crannies willing to welcome those hankering for their first source of sustenance for the day, one of them being cup of coffee. Considered singular because of their freshly roasted coffee beans and tea leaves, it is sensible that if one truly wishes to make an experience out of one's morning cup of coffee is the place to go. Surrounded by the same coffee machines that sit and operate in cafes all over Europe, tourists can enjoy the special brews and creations that come from their kitchen as they watch the city wake up. Another haven for the breakfast lovers is Cafe Uma, a restaurant that serves breakfast all day. Their menu being a healthy mix of Western and Asian foods, one can expect such hearty dishes as eggs Benedict and ribeye tapa steak with eggs. By definition, a tourist is one who visits a place for the pleasure of it. It follows then that a tourist's characteristic morning itinerary has a search for a bed and a roof on top priority. Being a city constantly in pace with development, Bacolod has plenty of accommodations available to all kinds of travelers. For those travelers who favor a good view, there is the Bacolod Pavilion Hotel. Built on reclaimed area right beside the city's main ports, the hotel stands near a large body of seawater, assuring visitors a healthy dose of salt air 24/7. For the comfort and needs of the city's locals and tourists, the Bacolod Pavilion Hotel has function areas, cabanas, and different kinds of guest rooms, all within its spacious, clean grounds. As for the travelers who enjoy a tinge of history to their traveling, there is the Hotel Pagcor Bacolod. Its interiors are a throwback to the Philippines' ancestral mansions of old, with its dark wood walls and its Spanish furniture, a design motif that extends to its dining areas, its function rooms, and its gambling and entertainment center, its casino. And then there's El Fisher, one of the most luxurious hotels the City of Smiles has to offer. With rooms, services, a pool, and a roof deck whose grandeur speak for themselves, El Fisher is a must-see, not just for its patrons, but for visitors and locals as well. With food out of the way and a place to stay secured, the rest of one's Bacolod morning is an adventure waiting to take shape. Perhaps it would be a visit to the Greens? For golf enthusiasts and would-be golfers, Bacolod offers the Negros Occidental Golf and Country Club, a sports venue alive with friendly competition. Not to waste the beautiful morning light left in the remaining hours before midday, a tourist would do well to visit those places that take on a shade of gold when hit by the morning sun. A visit to the Pope John Paul Tower is next on the list. Standing tall and proud on reclaimed land, the Pope John Paul Tower is a tribute to His Grace's visit to the city in 1981. It was a February morning that elder Bacolodons recall with fondness, on the same land where the tower now sits. The climb up is made fast and effortless by the pictures, paintings, relics, and quotes of the late Pope that adorn the walls, giving visitors food for thought. In no time at all, a tourist will find himself at the top of the tower. Treated to a view of Bacolod City would be hard to parallel. Another sight to see while the early sun is still rising to its summit is Bacolod's new government center. With its location in the middle of the city, its manicured lawns, and its vast fountain, reality defies expectation. Locals meander through the charming new government center's grounds out for a picnic, or to simply ponder at the floating works of art that bring color to the fountain and make the center more than a seat of government. Relics and work of art strike just as golden in the morning light as towers and buildings do, as evidenced by the Negros Museum. A reminder of the Bacolodnons' rich Negrense heritage, the Negros Museum features exhibits from different eras in Philippine history, giving sole focus on the experiences and involvement of the people of Bacolod. Tourists are treated to full-blown sights of sugar trade vessels, or what the Ilonggo call batil, as well as dioramas depicting everyday life in varied time periods. Once there, one could also visit the JGM Gallery of International Folk Art and Toys and the Pinma Gallery. both housed by the Negros Museum. A packed day in the City of Smiles is fueled by food. The next stop is lunch. One of the things Bacolodnones can claim true expertise in is cuisine. A history of caring and living with food has made it a collective skill that can easily be tested by entering any restaurant store. Bacolod 18th Street, Palapala may not have a door, but it is an entrance worth setting foot in nonetheless. Set up like a vast nipa hut, the restaurant is a welcoming sight to those who seek food that is made satisfying, not just by fresh catch and perfected recipes, but by a breezy ambiance as well. For cuisine lovers after a not-so-everyday kind of lunch, there is Umo, House of Lamb. Their name is a lesson in the Spanish language, Umo being the Spanish word for smoke. Smoke and fire cook their offerings of lamb dishes, creations that are the brainchild of Umo's very own resident chef. One meal that cannot be forgotten for fear of missing out on Bacolod's rich cuisine culture is a meal of chicken Bacolod. With the number of restaurants that put the flavorful chicken on its menu, and even a whole block of stalls dedicated to the dish alone, it is easy to get one's hands on. However, for the sake of capturing the best tasting chicken Bacolod, it is Chicken House that one must see. Having been around for 35 years, Chicken House is no longer a restaurant, it is an institution. One of the first food establishments to offer chicken Bacolod, they have known for years that the secret to it is in the art and timing of grilling. With the thirst of getting to know the cities still running high, it is the best time to visit the city's third places. Bacolod's third places, the Plaza and the Lagoon, which sits parallel to the provincial capital, are places that answer to the people's need for everyday spaces for congregation and community building. Mid-October sees these places transform into venues of colorful, citywide merrymaking, thanks to the famous Mascara Festival. One of the city's claims to fame, the Mascara Festival is a unity of artful masks, eye-catching costumes, infectious beats, and street dances choreographed to enthrall. It is a yearly tribute to the spirit of the Bacolodnon, the spirit that keeps their eyes on the prize and reminds them of the worth of their work. The whole of Bacolod put their energy into patting each other on the back for a job well done and showing visitors the extent of their culture's diversity. Sige lang, sige na. Bacolod, bato kita. During Mascara, this cheer that encourages the people of Bacolod towards a better future, or as they would say it, Sulong, Bacolodnon, resounds through Bacolod's Plaza and its lagoon, loud and heartfelt enough for the feeling to hang in the air year-round and keep the people coming back. The importance of an afternoon snack is something that Bacolodnones know well, as Felicia's and Juan do well to exemplify. An afternoon in the City of Smiles is made all that much sweeter by the pastries at these restaurants, which make good use of the abundance of sugarcane plantations that name Bacolod the Sugar City in the Philippines. Felicia's offers signature specialties such as macaroons, giant ensaimadas, Felicia's famous chocolate cake, turon de pili, as well as drinks like chocolate espressos and coffee dosed with rich syrupy blends. Juan, on the other hand, relives Filipino pastries from more romantic times, rice cakes like suman and bibingka, as well as Bacolod delicacies like alupi, inday inday. Sit and wait for pastry connoisseurs to take the plunge. As the afternoon draws to a close and the skies of Bacolod City eventually say goodbye to the sun, the tourist's experience of the City of Smiles takes a turn towards the solemn. As rich as it is in places of festivity, people searching for quiet and calm won't find themselves out of place here. If one would wish to spend the magic hour of pink skies looking back on the day that has been, the Carmelite Monastery is more than worthy a place to bring one's thought to. The church is as tranquil as it is homely, with a ceiling of clear blue skies for the troubled soul to gaze upon. For the type who would want to surround themselves in an atmosphere and an attitude of remembering, on the other hand, there is the Bacolod Cemetery. It is not as grave a place as it would seem. Instead, the grove-like expanses and the intricate, thoughtfully designed mausoleums speak of continuing affection and living history. History can also be found alive and well at the city's well-loved church, the San Sebastian Cathedral, the largest church to be found in the province. The story of San Sebastian's construction is a colorful one of clergymen and laymen passionate about building a place of worship Negros Occidental could take pride in. Judging by the center of community it has become, and the preservation of its beautiful stone and glass interiors, its tower and its bell, it is indeed a piece of history that the Bacolodnones will work to bring along with them for the tomorrows to come. After the date, a tourist can trust that Bacolod still has much more in store. But before all the exhilaration might make one forget, a visit to one of the most important tourist spots must be made, a souvenir shop, or as Filipinos call it, a pasalubong center. Bacolod offers mercy. Though one might think that Mercy is the name of the store's wise matron, the habit of naming establishments after a beloved family member being a Filipino standard, the store actually borrows its name from the French way of saying thank you. Their preferred way of saying thank you for visiting our home is by manufacturing delectable pastries and treats that the city of Bacolod would be proud to attach its name to. A few of the best sellers are mango cheese and caramel tarts, butterscotch squares, orquillos, bizcocho, and of course, their famous siopao and piaya, both best served hot. The official Mercy shirt is one that declares a resolute belief of theirs in big, bold letters, I love Bacolod, making them perfect for their business of giving visitors a little piece of Bacolod to bring back home. In Bacolod, darkness doesn't necessarily mean the absence of light. Here, the city of smiles becomes the city of lights. The sun's rays are replaced with the squares of light from the windows of Bacolodnones, whose passion in life is to feed people good food. The city of love is rich in chefs and entrepreneurs who push the envelope of Bacolod cuisine, giving it diversity enough for it to be called global. Bringing a taste of Asia to the mix is Mushu, Bacolod's answer to the Asian fusion trend. Though it looks exactly the part of an Asian restaurant and lounge, what it really is a center for experimentation. Mushu's chef, JP Anglo, has made his restaurant a place where one can always expect the different, just like the old but new dishes of Mushu's Ilonggo Corner, such as the lechon manok lumpia with a special Filipino vinegar called binakurat. The Chinese version of the Filipino pancit molo, cooked with Hainanese chicken, Asian-style prawn and pork dumplings, and native chicken stock, or the playfully named pancit canton ni Toto, that mixes pork belly, prawns, vegetables, and special noodles. Coming at epicures with more Asian food is Inaka, a Japanese restaurant and sushi bar. In Japanese, Inaka is a word that connotes the countryside and the country life. In Bacolod, however, it is a word that means teppanyaki, sought after for their live iron griddle cooking just before a sumptuous meal. Inaka also offers dishes like tofu steak, tempura shrimp, sushi that comes expertly assembled, whether the bamboo rolled or the hand-rolled variety. Native food, given a twist of other traditions of Asian cooking, is 21's specialty. 21 is halfway between the place for a conversation-filled evening meal and a setting for those drinks that can last well into the evening. For sure, cellar is one of those spaces made to transition people between dinner time and the time of night, when almost anything is possible. Found in Balay Quince, a two-floor oasis of great meals and better pastries, cellar brings bottles of liquid courage to the table, offering choices of good wines and good cigars. Visit Piazza Sorrento, a small collection of nocturnal nooks. It is a place for hip music, free-flowing drinks, and people out to have a good night. Take your night a step further. Casino Filipino, housed in the first floor of Bacolod's Elfisher, caters to the risk-takers who are out to see whether Lady Luck is a friend or foe. Rows of slot machines frame the games of chance that wait for players confident enough to roll the dice. And if you wish to savor every last minute of that feeling of relaxation and calm, the Art District is the place to go. The Art District is a compound of shops, restaurants, and bars where passion for expression lays claim. Garnering equal attention as the establishments are the sculptures and installation art pieces, lending the stone and concrete a creative personality. It is a haven for Bacolod-known artists that gives them the due respect and space to grow, holding dialogues, forums, and art shows in an effort to help them paint a many-colored picture of Bacolod that isn't easy to forget. So, what is it like to spend a day in Bacolod? It's something worth smiling about. Perhaps they are called the City of Smiles, not because of the jolly Bacolod-knowns, but because it is a place where expressions of joy come naturally. If happiness were a place, it would be found in Negros Occidental, a small city that once stood on a stone hill, but now stands on the strong shoulders of those smiling Bacolod-knowns.